This year marks 100 years since the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, but the Greenwood neighborhood is full of rich history and culture, and a new children's book is coming out, which will explore the success and achievements of Black Wall Street before the massacre. And here with me now is one of the authors, Narja Hilton. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it is an honor, really. I mean, this book sounds incredible, and it is called Opal's Greenwood Oasis. Give me a little
Yeah.
bit of a synopsis. There it is. Yeah, give me a little synopsis about what this book is all about.
Sure. So we placed an 8-year-old girl in the middle of Tulsa, in the middle of the Greenwood district in 1921. And we put her in a family with an older brother, two parents, and it's Memorial Day weekend, and they are preparing for their picnic, their community picnic. And mom forgot to pick up an ingredient she needed for pie. And so Opal is going to take her first alone bike ride back to the store to pick up the ingredient that mom forgot. And so, yeah, it's just a picture of Opal in her neighborhood, taking care of her family, taking care of her community, excited to see everyone at the picnic, and excited to be participating um, in what her community is doing.
And, I was reading a little bit more about this, and, that's really Opal's sort of last day before the
Mhm.
horrific events of 1921 happened. So I want to ask you, why do you think it's so important for kids to learn about what Greenwood was before those events and after? Why is it important to talk about both of those things?
Sure. So I think for even me, I'm 32, and I've learned about this story. I didn't learn about it in school, but I learned about it throughout my adulthood and studying Black history. And I knew that there were all of these things that happened. There were these Black towns, and I knew that there were Black towns, but I know that there are not really Black towns anymore the way they used to be, right? And so trying to find out kind of what happened. So that's why we need to talk about the massacres, or the riots as they were previously called. But then thinking about, what did those communities look like before those tragedies happened? And so my co-author, Quresh Ali Lansana, always says that, and he told me as we were writing, that our goal is to highlight Black excellence, and not only to talk about Black pain, right? So instead of it just being about what happened and why those communities no longer exist, we wanted to make a picture of one possible way that a community could have looked before it was all torn down, and how happy an 8-year-old girl could have been, and how safe and how comfortable she would have felt going to the store a couple of streets away.
Absolutely. I mean, we know there's a lot of Black excellence out there that we all need to learn about. And you kind of mentioned something, though, that you didn't learn about this in school. And I know you're an educator now. Do you hope that this could be a tool for educators to start talking about this in schools?
I think that it is so difficult for teachers, right? So I don't ever want to be a teacher who makes it sound like other teachers aren't doing the right thing. It is very difficult to figure out how to present information to students. I hope that this book can absolutely help teachers of upper elementary schools, and even older kids, just to see as a jumping off point, right? And my team with the Tri-City Collective, we've started trying to put together a curriculum for the older students as well. It's slow going. There's so much research out there, and as we all know, it's an ongoing process even still. I just think that history is hard to teach because there's so many factors that are wrapped up in how and why we do have the resources to teach what we teach.
Sure, but we certainly thank you for all that you guys are doing right now, of course, during this pandemic as well. I want to talk about the illustrations really quick, too. They are so unique. Tell me a little bit about, I mean, they're incredible. Yeah, I mean, it is unlike anything I've ever seen. Tell me about it. It's kind of mixed media there. I mean, it's so interesting.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the example that we always show, or one of the great ones. So Skip is an excellent researcher in addition to an excellent artist, and so he actually pulled actual photos from from archives from the time period. And so he did a mixture of archival photos with the overlay of the color scheme that he chose, and as well as his own drawings. And he pulled the color scheme from that time frame as well. He took like the colors that was popular in wallpaper, in women's fashion. So he did a lot of research before he went into that. He did a great job.
I mean, it's striking. Let me tell you, it really is excellent. All right, last question. The book comes out tomorrow. Exciting. Where can people get the book if they're interested?
So many places. So you can already order it on Calliope's website, of course, and on Amazon, and it's going to be on Walmart's website, Barnes and Noble's website, and Abe Books, Goodreads, and check out your local independent bookstores as well.
Of course, we always want to support them. Well, Naja Hilton, author, one of the authors of Opal's Greenwood Oasis. We appreciate you so much and all that you're doing as an educator as well. Just thank you so much for your time in this incredible book.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right.